the drummer was like, yeah, I'm tired of dealing with singers, man. Let's just strip it down to three of us and just kick some ass. And my idea was like take the Ventures and Hendrix and Cream and do it more like a British power trio.
Okay.
So it's kind of a different concept than, the usual guys that do it like 1962 with the matching bowling shirts.
Right.
It was that's cool. I did, that clean stuff, but I think I'm going through my midlife crisis and I want to play loud again. So I get to feel like I'm 16.
Well, you also do something that can be kind of controversial because, like everything else these days, you have half of the bunch is in favor of it, and the other half is going to complain that you don't do it the way the originals do it. You put your own little spin on it. You make the songs yours rather than just duplicating the original sound. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think in music, and I know the listeners, who cares about what I think? They just want to hear me. But I'm gonna make this point anyway. Music is just that type of thing. It's personal, and it identifies with the person just as the person identifies with it. Music is your own interpretation, and it's open to that. It's part of what makes it so personal, so emotional, and the fact that you put your own spin on it is really a good thing, because it's not, if I want to hear the original version of Rumble, I can have it up on YouTube in 30 seconds. I don't need to have a cover band come along and do it. But
exactly.
you do it in a way that updates it a little without destroying the integrity of the song. And I think this is a good thing. I think it's also a good thing that John Bon Jovi would like to jump in here and say something. So let's give him 30 seconds or so.
I shall pounce upon the subject.
Like the cage panther that you are.
Yes, precisely. Well, I am legendary after all.
True.
But yes, you mentioned something with the matching bowling shirts and all that, which made me think of, again, the Ventures. Not only did they have the matching Beatle suits on steroids, but they also had the matching Mossberg guitars to go along with it. And I don't think that they never did any vocal stuff, not that I can remember.
No.
Yet they sold a bazillion records, and
they did.
I was reading.
They were the largest selling instrumental group of that era.
Yeah, no, I remember that well. But I just wanted to get that little tidbit in there. But really, the reason for me wanting to, pounce upon the subject here is the name of the band, the Tombstone Hands. I love that. And it's just so bizarre and memorable. And how did you come up with that?
Well, band names, it's like the hardest thing now because everything's been done. So we went through a few. I had some cool ideas, and, I do a search, and there's some, band in Yugoslavia from 8 years ago. I already did it, and they're on YouTube doing one song. I can't do that one. So I went to the source of sources, Mr. Bo Diddley. Who do you love? Tombstone Hands, and a Graveyard Mind.
Yeah.
I'm just 22. I don't mind dying.
Yeah, okay.
And as soon as I was like, wow, that's and I looked and looked and looked. I couldn't find any bands, the Tombstone Hands. So I'm like, that's it. We got it.
I love it.
I really wanted I wanted a the band.
Well, all we got to do now is get you out of upstate New York and down into southern Arizona where you belong.
Well, that's difficult, but my drummer owns a business, and he's not too keen. But I'm putting together another band, actually. We just started, and then COVID blew everything out of the water. And I'm the old guy this time, so I'm hoping we'll, hit the road once we get things going.
What you going to be doing with this band?
Basically, good old cowpunk.
Cowpunk?
Yeah, the most misunderstood, not known genre of all time. It's basically like a cross between Buck Owens, Hank Williams, and Motorhead.
Right. Yeah.
Like country, but it's kind of like sounds like the Tombstone Hands. Crunchy guitars, louder and faster. And this band's got vocals and everything.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
So you're gonna be singing about pickup trucks while crunching a guitar, getting drunk at the bar, chasing women, and yeah,
and
of course getting the rock and roll in there, where peace and love, man, and okay.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do it, and I became friends with this really talented bass player singer in Buffalo, which has the greatest music scene. Really, it's a great city. It's only an hour away, so
I haven't been in Buffalo in decades.
Well, you're down in the Sun Belt. Why would you?
Yeah, really. Like they say, Buffalo's a great place to be from. Far from.
Yeah.
Pardon me, our friends.
That's actually a great city.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I really like it. I mean, Rochester's a little more conservative musically, I've discovered. So we do much better in Buffalo for some strange reason.
That's interesting. I would not have suspected that for the most part, although in some ways I can. Buffalo is a larger metropolitan area, and it has more, what do I want to say? It has more feed from the outside, from different areas and different populations, different types of people, where Rochester is kind of sequestered in its own little niche there in upstate New York, off the lake, in between, Syracuse and, there isn't much till you get to Buffalo, but Rochester's kind of sequestered there, where Buffalo draws really from 3 or 4 if you count Canada. On the north, south, east, and west, you've got totally different areas around it, and I can understand that. And the cowpunk or country punk, if you will, that really started in the UK back 30, 40 years ago, because it was back in the 70s or 80s where they came out with the nomenclature where they labeled music country punk. And
actually, the first band I was aware of was from Nashville, Jason and the Scorchers. Yeah,
they were one of the early ones that made a name of it. Like everything else, there's a bunch of people that will try anything, but you don't always hear about them. It made a little bit of a noise in Southern California in the 80s. I know I was there then, and there was a little bit of it going around. It was
Dwight
the subject
Yoakam
of a lot of scorn.
that scene.
Yeah, it was a subject of a lot of scorn. John, you got something?
Yeah, is there, other than the fact that Buffalo has been immortalized by the Grateful Dead, is there a cowpunk thing going on in Buffalo or Rochester?
Nope, we're going to start it up.
There's
a pretty cool alt-country scene in Buffalo. Rochester, there's like an alt-country, but it's more like singer-songwriter. It's a guy with a banjo, a couple of acoustics. It's a little bit different in Buffalo, but no one's doing what we're doing. I think it's like perfect timing. Not that we're going to sell out places and make billions of records, but I think people will dig it when they hear it.
You never know.
Is it the kind of new country now that might be considered like the 1001 Strings of Barbara Mandrell, or is it is it a traditional country scene?
I have no idea. Oh, there's traditional country. I have no idea about new country. I avoid that like disco. It's not my thing. It's turned into like basically. I hear all these bands sound like Journey with a twang. I don't know how it's going. It doesn't sound like country anymore. Or it's just like a little more down home Eagles, but give me, last week I played Merle Haggard on my show.
And you can't go wrong with the Hag.
All the few people were like, "Oh my God, this was great! I can't believe how cool that was." I got some great feedback on it.
Well, the Living Dead have got a Merle Haggard tune that they include in their repertoire, so that's not way out there. As a matter of fact, I think it's neat that there is that crossover of the genres of music, because the genres of music, or really the subgenres that we have to deal with today, I think are primarily outgrowths of radio. Everybody had to have their own shtick, and we're going to play country, but we're not going to play the country that everybody else plays. We're going to twist it and play it a little bit more rock and roll, or a little bit more this, a little bit more that. So it's not surprising. And I could see punk rock adapting country music, and I'm anxious to hear what you're going to come up with when you get started. Love you to keep in touch and let us hear a little bit of the music as you develop. I'd definitely be interested in following. And before we run out of time, I want to change to a little bit different subject here, because I think this is also interesting for our audience. Your experimentation that basically creates a new career for you. In addition to being a music person, as we alluded up front, you're also now a radio person. And I know that you did this from your years of experience in radio, of course. What was your experience in radio when you started? You'd gone through the door of a radio station or something at one time, right?
Yeah, I was interviewed, band stuff once or twice. That's about it.
And you saw this DJ sitting there interviewing you, and you say, "Hey, punk, I can do what you're doing."
No, not at all. I was the last thing I thought I could do. It just seemed like an impossibility. I thought you had to go to school or.
There are some schools that will try to convince you.
Luckily, I married a woman whose nephew founded Rochester Free Radio.
Okay.
And we were at a New Year's Eve party a couple of years ago.
Nepotism.
And he looked at me and said, "You should have a show." And, peer pressure, everyone was like, "Yeah, you should have a show." And I'm like, "What, are you insane?" And they're like, no, you know about music, you play, you got all these CDs, blah, 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 blah. And, maybe I will.
And then you discovered all the buttons
later,
and
there
switches.
I was.
Discovering the buttons, the switches, the sliders, and all these other great little toys.
Yeah, I basically had 2 very, very short training sessions, and then all of a sudden, we need you to come on Saturdays, Beyond Before Armand. When? This Saturday. What? I'm like, oh God. Thankfully, by years of playing, in bands, I was at least had a clue what a mixing board was.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too left field, but oh man, those first couple of shows were brutal. And I'm there by myself. My nephew gets me, 10 minutes in. He's like, "All right, you got it. I'll see you later." I'm like, "What?"
Absolutely.
And here it is, 4 years later, man.
All right, now for people who want to hear an experienced radio person on the air, I know that all of our friends there at Rochester Free Radio are online. I mean, you can pick it up online. Tell the folks when and how they can catch you on your show.
Well, if you are fortunate enough to live in Rochester, you can go to WRFZ 106.3 FM every Saturday from 1 to 3. Or the rest of the planet, go to www.rochesterfreeradio.com, and every Saturday from 1 to 3 Eastern Standard / New York time, it's all me for 2 hours of the coolest rock and roll on the planet.
Hey, and that's why we try to do such a great job, a bang-up job on our show, so that we give you a good, strong lead-in audience.
Yeah, and then we got the legendary Armin Shawrock following him. How cool. That's why I took Saturday. Because I was like, I'm not giving up my Saturday afternoon. You'll be opening for Armin. Oh, cool. What time?
It was
a no-brainer.
what a fantastic spot for you to be in